Alright, I'm going to show how to rotary cut. So I have a piece of fabric here that is just about 10.5 inches wide, and it's the full width of the fabric. So I know that my masks are, because I said this is 10.5, it's going to be smaller than that, so I'm going to cut it to 7 3/4. So I have it folded with the salvages together and then folding it over so they line up nicely with the fold. And then this is the width I'm going to use. It doesn't make too much sense to line it up with the edge because it's just harder to cut near the edges. So then we just do some subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the part that's all frayed. So I use the top and bottom where I can see that I'm at 13 on both sides, but whatever whole number. I apply pressure on the ruler, keep the cutter next to the ruler, and then I take that away. Alright, so now I said 7 3/4, so I can measure that on my ruler, and I know that would end up at the 5 1/4. So I'm going to line it up the top and the bottom at the quarter mark, and this is lined up on the line. I'm just going to cut across there. So now this leftover piece is going to be enough for the binding or something like that, so we'll save that. So now this is the correct width, but the length is quite long. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the selvages. And I'm just lining them up close to a full inch. And that didn't cut all the way through, so I just keep my ruler in one spot and just try again. Now I know that this piece is probably 42 inches or so, but I can get 2 masks out of here. So I take my nice edge I just cut and put it on the 0 line, and I line up my top lines so I know it's level. And then I know that I need 15 inches, so I put it at my 15 line and line it up at the top and bottom and cut through. And again, it didn't cut all the way, so I just finished that up. So now I have 2 masks like that. So to put those away, I just fold them up, and then I'll see what I have left over here. So if I want elastic casing on these, I need 4 pieces of 2 1/4. So again, I just line it up where it makes sense. I count out 2 1/4. So that's going to be at this quarter mark here, and I line it up at the top and bottom. So that's enough for 1 mask. And then instead of doing the math, I just move it over to a whole line again. 2 1/4 to the quarter mark, top and bottom. And there we go. And this I could save, or I can throw out. And I still have this other strip in case I need to make ties. If I were going to make ties, I think we're doing 1 1/2. I would just make sure I'm lined up on a whole number and count over 1 1/2 inches. And that's the half mark. This is the half mark. Just go through all those layers, and there's some ties. That was 4 layers, so it makes a nice 42-inch. You can cut off those selvages now or another time, but you're always lining up at the top and the bottom. And there you go.